a complete history of the Arizona Coyotes. So as we all know, the Arizona Coyotes unfortunately had to move to Utah due to building issues, mostly. Among other things like low attendance, and the team was just losing money. I mean, now it is quite sad that the Arizona Coyotes story has come to an end, so let's take one last look at the entire history of the Arizona Coyotes, start to finish. The move from Winnipeg itself. Now, Winnipeg wasn't bad their final season, and they seemed to be building towards something. After missing the playoffs the previous 2 seasons, they had a 23-year-old Keith Tkachuk putting up 50 goals and 48 assists for 98 points, and a 25-year-old Teemu Selanne with 24 goals and 48 assists for 72 points in only 51 games. And plenty of other youngsters, including an 18-year-old Shane Doan who scored 7 goals in 74 games played, also had 10 assists for 17 points. Now, they made the playoffs and were eliminated in round 1 by the Detroit Red Wings. Now, this was the 95-96 season. Now, they seem to have left Winnipeg for much similar reasons to the reasons the Arizona Coyotes left Arizona. I mean, they had an old arena that simply wasn't up to par with NHL standards, and they couldn't get funding for a new one because the Canadian dollar was dropping like it was dropping like flies. But you had plenty of other Canadian teams moving, like the Quebec Nordiques, and even the Edmonton Oilers were on the verge of losing their team at that point, which means maybe Arizona will come back because, you know, the Jets came back. So let's hold out hope, guys.
The Jets are leaving, folks. We've known that for a long time. No reason to get worried about that. But where are they going? What's it look like down there? What are they getting? They're going to the Arizona desert. And so tonight's game brings a sense of closure. We're losing something great to the land of cactus and coyotes.
But anyways, year 1 of the Arizona Coyotes, 1996-97. The attendance was 15,585. That is the average attendance. So pretty good. That's a packed building. I believe that might be fully sold out. It probably held somewhere around 16,000. So that's pretty good for the Arizona Coyotes. Now, the Jets traded Selanne for a bag of nickels at last year's trade deadline. So you're left with Keith Tkachuk with another 50-goal season with 52 goals, 34 assists, 86 points, because, you know, he has less people to pass to. But outside of that, you got Jeremy Roenick and a 36-year-old Mike Gartner who gathers 63 points. Of course, I believe he had 20 goals that year, probably. He had like a million 20-goal seasons. And Roenick gets 69 points as well. Now the Coyotes end up making the playoffs with a 38, 37, and 7 record for 83 points before losing in 7 games to the Anaheim Ducks, which of course they had just traded Teemu Selanne to, so that sucks. Now, year 2, the average attendance was 15,404, so a little bit lower than the previous season, but really nothing to worry about. 1997-98, Keith Tkachuk gets 40 goals, 26 assists for 66 points. Now, there's a bunch of other guys on this team at this point, like Jeremy Roenick, of course, Cliff Ronning, Craig Janney, and Teppo Numminen on the blue line, all putting up over 50 points. Teppo Numminen was a solid defenseman for this team for a very, very long time, and he was solid for the Winnipeg Jets as well before this. The team went 500 with a 35, 35, and 12 record, making the playoffs, but losing round 1 to Detroit in 6. Year 3, 1998-99. Now the average attendance was 15,547. Jeremy Roenick leads the team in points with 72 points and 24 goals to go along with it. Keith Tkachuk leads the team in goals with 36 and also has 68 points. Now Rick Tocchet also scores 26 goals and 30 assists for 56 points. I believe he just won the Jack Adams Trophy. I think that's today, May 23rd. Hold up. That was literally today, right? Tocchet wins Jack Adams 3 hours ago. That man. Wow, 26 goals and 30 assists for 56 points, and the Coyotes actually had themselves a pretty good season. 39, 31, and 12. Now they're second in the division against the St. Louis Blues in the first round, and they lose in 7 games, so that is a tough one for the Arizona Coyotes. Now in year 4, 1999-2000, the average attendance is 14,991, which is a little bit of a drop off from the year before, but still, yeah, you're not stressing. Anyways, their record is 39, 31, 8, and 4 for 90 points. Jeremy Roenick leads the team in scoring. In 75 games played, has 34 goals, 44 assists for 78 points. Shane Doan comes up next, 23 years old, 26 goals, 25 assists, 51 points. Travis Green, former coach of the Vancouver Canucks. They traded Rick Tocchet for Travis Green. I don't know if that's how that worked. I should look that up before I start spouting nonsense. Travis Green, 25 goals, 21 assists, 46 points. Greg Adams, 19 goals, 27 assists, 46 points. Dallas Drake, I mean, that's a guy, that's a cool hockey name, you know. Dallas Drake, 15 goals, 30 assists, 45 points. Now, Keith Tkachuk, only 50 games played due to injury, 22 goals, 21 assists, 43 points. So a little bit of a down year for him, I suppose. Teppo Numminen still holding it down on the defense there. 8 goals, 34 assists, 42 points. Now, of course, with 90 points that season, they lose in round 1 to the Colorado Avalanche in 5 games. Year 5, 2000-2001, 14,224 is the average attendance. Now their record is 35, 27, and 17, and 3, because there's 4. There's 4 numbers now, but 90 points. Your top scorer this year is Jeremy Roenick with 30 goals, 46 assists for 76 points. Keith Tkachuk comes in second. However, he very likely would have came in first if he hadn't been traded at the deadline. However, we'll get into that. Keith Tkachuk, 29 goals, 42 assists, 71 points. Shane Doan, 76 games played, 26 goals, 37 assists, 63 points. And Joe Juneau, I just want to mention, he had a 100-point season with the Boston Bruins in the 80s. I think it was the 80s. It was his rookie year for sure. And he has 33 points for this team. He is their 4th scorer. So they're really being carried by their top 3 guys, Jeremy Roenick, Keith Tkachuk, and Shane Doan. All right, now Keith Tkachuk is traded for Michael Handzus, Ladislav Nagy, and a 2001 or 2002 first-round pick. It ended up being 2002. It was 23rd overall. They got Ben Eager, and they also had the rights to Jeff Taft. So year 6, we see a drop in their attendance. 2001, 2002, 13,165 is the average attendance, which is a little bit lower, but you're still making money. It's nothing to be really concerned about. They go 40, 27, 9, and 6 for 95 points. Roenick leaves as a free agent, and of course Keith Tkachuk was traded at last year's deadline, so the team is quite bare. Their number 1 scorer is Damon Langkow, 27 goals, 35 assists, 62 points. Their number 2 scorer is Daniel Briere with 78 games played, 32 goals, 28 assists, 60 points. And Shane Doan is their number 3 scorer, 20 goals, 29 assists, 49 points. What's weird about this is Damon Langkow and Daniel Briere are both like right around the same age as Shane Doan. So, I mean, if you're the Coyotes at this time, you're probably thinking like, you've got a nice little forward core going forward. And of course, they pick up Ladislav Nagy and Michael Handzus in the trade before. 15 goals, Michael Handzus, 30 assists, 45 points. And Ladislav Nagy, 23 goals, 19 assists, 42 points. They also have Claude Lemieux, who's 36 years old at this point, 16 goals, 25 assists, 41 points. And Teppo Numminen on the blue line here, 13 goals, 35 assists, 48 points. He's their number 4 scorer. Year 7, 2002-2003, they have average attendance of 13,229. They go 31, 35, 11, and 5 for 78 points. No playoffs this year, unfortunately. Mike Johnson is their leading scorer. Yes, the same Mike Johnson who's talking on TSN saying a bunch of shenanigans. I don't know. Shane Doan at number 2 with 21 goals, 37 assists, 58 points. Ladislav Nagy, he's only 23 years of age. Again, 22 goals, 35 assists, 57 points. He is their third place scorer. And Damon Lankow, 20 goals, 32 assists, 52 points. Daniel Briere, 17 goals, 29 assists, 46 points, and only 68 games. They have Tony Amonte, 13 goals, 23 assists, 36 points in only 59 games. So I thought that was pretty good. And Teppo Numminen on the blue line. His offense kind of starting to drop off just a little bit. 6 goals, 24 assists, 30 points. Now, of course, he is 34 years of age, but he is still a great shutdown D-man. Year 8, 2003-2004, their average attendance goes up quite a bit, 15,467. You got to think they're close to selling out once again. 22, 36, 18, and 6 with only 68 points at a time where you're hoping for the team to be getting better, but they unfortunately don't make the playoffs and they lose 10 points. Now, Teppo Numminen was traded for Mike Sillinger, who is the most traded player of all time. Their leading scorer is Shane Doan, 27 goals, 41 assists, 68 points. Ladislav Nagy, in only 55 games, gets 24 goals, 28 assists, 52 points. Damon Lankow, 81 games played, 21 goals, 31 assists, 52 points. And Paul Mara on the blue line, only 24 years of age, so he's 11 years younger than Teppo Numminen. So 6 goals, 36 assists, 42 points. Now, of course, year 9, there's no season, so yeah, moving on. So year 10, season 9. 2005-2006, Wayne Gretzky is a coach. Of course, he's been a partial owner since, I think, 2001. Now, their record is 38, 39, 5, and for 81 points. Now, that's a pretty decent record. However, they do miss the playoffs. Brett Hull played 5 games and had 1 assist in this season at the age of 41. Shout out Brett Hull. Their leading scorer is Shane Doan, who's now 29 years old, and his rookie season was with the Winnipeg Jets, which is very odd. Now, 30 goals, 36 assists, 66 points. Number 2, Mike Comrie, 30 goals, 30 assists, 60 points. Ladislav Nagy, 51 games played. He's kind of injury prone at this point. You can definitely say that about him. And maybe it's thrown off his goal scoring ability. Only 15 goals. However, 41 assists for 56 points is still pretty good. He's above a point per game. He's the only player above a point per game on the Arizona Coyotes. So when he's in the lineup, he still is arguably their most productive player. Number 4, Mike Johnson, 16 goals, 38 assists, 54 points. Number 5, Paul Mara, the defenseman, 15 goals, 32 assists, 47 points. They also have Jeff Sanderson, but it's spelled like Geoff. You know what I'm talking about. Jeff Sanderson, 25 goals, 21 assists, 46 points. Keith Ballard, 23 years of age, on the blue line, 82 games played, 8 goals, 31 assists, 39 points. So almost half a point per game, which is pretty good for a blue liner. Year 11, season 10, 2006-2007. Their average attendance is 14,988. Guys, shout out my homie Aiden988. That's been his gamer tag since he was 6. I think it's Fallout Gaming 988, the Game Zone 988, something like. He always be changing it, but the number 988 is in there. So I guess shout out. Now, their record is less than great, I'd say, because they can't really seem to get anywhere. Even though their depth scoring really isn't that bad, their scoring from the blue line really isn't that bad. They seem to have all of it figured out. They're not getting anywhere with it. Their record this year, 31, 46, and 5 with 67 points and no playoff. Shane Doan, 27 goals, 28 assists, 55 points in 73 games. Vladislav Nagy, once again, number 2 scorer, only 8 goals, 33 assists, 41 points in 55 games played. Still very injury-prone player. Owen Nolan, 16 goals, 24 assists, 40 points in 76 games played. Now, these next guys, none of them really play a lot of games. You see Oleg Saprikin here. I've never heard of this man. Maybe I should have. Y'all let me know. You can roast me in the comments. That's fine. 14 goals, 20 assists, 34 points in 59 games. Yannick Perreault, I've heard of this guy. Don't worry, guys. Yannick Perreault, 49 games played, 19 goals, 14 assists, 33 points. Steve Reinprecht, 9 goals, 24 assists, 33 points. And Ed Jovanovski on the blue line. He must have been their number 1 defenseman this year, at least number 1 point-producing defenseman. So it sucks that he only plays 54 games and gets 11 goals, 18 assists, 29 points. Jeremy Roenick came back, 37 years of age this time though, 70 games played, 11 goals, 17 assists, 28 points now. Year 12, season 11, 2007, 2008, 38, 37, and 7 with 83 points. The team had nuts goaltending, guys. All right, we'll talk about the goaltending in just a second, but first let's go over their top scorer and their attendance first. 14,820 is their average attendance, so it's still pretty good. They're still mostly selling out. They probably have a couple of sellouts every now and then. You know, it's good. Number 1, Shane Doan, 28 goals, 50 assists, 78 points. Radim Verbata, 27 goals, 29 assists, 56 points. Peter Mueller, who had quite the rookie season this year, 22 goals, 32 assists, 54 points. Unfortunately, the rest of his career would not pan out just like this one, and he only played 3 seasons with the Arizona Coyotes. Ed Jovanovski plays a full season this year, 12 goals, 39 assists, 51 points. Steve Reinprecht, also a full season, once again, 30 assists, 16 goals, 46 points. Sorry, that was backwards. And Martin Hansel, 20 years old, 8 goals, 27 assists, 35 points. He would be a pretty key piece for the Arizona Coyotes moving forward. Also, an 18-year-old Kyle Turris played 3 games and had 1 assist. But, I mean, really, the Arizona Coyotes at this point are just trying to get younger as a team. Also, they weren't so held back by injuries this season as well, so they managed to get a little bit closer to the playoffs, and we see that improvement that the Arizona Coyotes have been looking for quite a while at this point. Now their goaltending is nuts. Ilya Brizgala, 55 games played, 26 wins, 22 losses, 5 overtime losses. His save percentage is .921. They also have Michael Telkvist with a .908 save percentage in 22 games played with 9 wins, 8 losses, 2 overtime losses. Year 13, season 12, 2008-2009, their average attendance is 14,875. They have a 36, 39, and 7 record. Brizgala posts a .906 save percentage in 65 games played. Shane Doan with 31 goals, 42 assists for 73 points. I believe this is his career high in a season to this point. 32 years of age. Olli Jokinen, guys, 30 years of age, 57 games played, 21 goals, 21 assists, 42 points. Steve Reinprecht, 14 goals, 27 assists, 41 points. Peter Mueller, again, 13 goals, 23 assists, 36 points. So his season is a little bit less than it was before, and they do not make the playoffs this year. They had 79 points, I forgot to mention. Year 14, season 13, 2009-2010, with a 50, 25, and 7 record. Gretzky is fired, and Dave Tippett is hired as the new coach. Brizgala posts a .921 save percentage in 69 games played. The Arizona Coyotes have 107 points. Shane Doan, 18 goals, 37 assists, 55 points. Matthew Lombardi, 19 goals, 34 assists, 53 points. Radim Verbata, 24 goals, 19 assists, 43 points. Keith Yandel, 23 years old, 12 goals, 29 assists, 41 points. Ed Jovanovski kind of playing the more defensive shutdown role while still getting quite a bit of points. 10 goals, 24 assists, 34 points. Martin Hansel, 11 goals, 22 assists, 33 points. Now this team makes the playoffs just to be eliminated by the Red Wings. They're just eliminated by the Red Wings. This was the best season the Arizona Coyotes have ever posted in the regular season, at least to this point. And they just lose to the Red Wings in the first round. Sorry. Anyways, we'll get them next year, boys. We'll get them next year. Year 15, season 14. Their average attendance in 2010, 2011. The year the Boston Bruins win the Stanley Cup. Sorry. 12,188. 43, 26, and 13 for 99 points and another 921 save percentage season from Briz in 68 games played. Brizgalov, the universe is so humongous big.
To the universe, like how it was created, like what is it, the solar system is so humongous big, right? But
Shane Doan, 34 years of age, still keeping it going. 20 goals, 40 assists, 60 points. Keith Yandel, 11 goals, 48 assists, 59 points as a defenseman. He is quite the offensive defenseman at this point in his career. Ray Whitney, 38 years of age, 17 goals, 40 assists, 57 points. I have no idea how he did that, but good job, Ray Whitney, I guess. Radim Verbata, 19 goals, 29 assists, 48 points. Lori Korpikoski, 19 goals, 21 assists, 40 points. Eric Belanger, 13 goals, 27 assists, 40 points. These are all just real weird names. Some of these I've never heard before, specifically those last two. And then Lee Stempniak, guys. Everybody remembers Lee Stempniak. How could you forget? 19 goals, 19 assists, 38 points. How many Lee Stempniak hockey cards do you guys have? Let me know in the comments, dude. And once again, they see their old friends, the Red Wings, and they're swept. Goodbye. Year 16, season 15. Alright, guys. The Arizona Coyotes are getting serious. 42 wins, 27 assists, 13 overtime losses for 97 points. They have an average attendance of 12,421. Ray Whitney leads the team in scoring at the age of 39, 24 goals, 53 assists for 77 points. Radim Verbata with 35 goals, 27 assists for 62 points as well. Shane Doan, 35 years of age, 22 goals, 28 assists, 50 points. Keith Yandel, 11 goals, 32 assists, 43 points. Lori Kaporski, 17 goals, 20 assists, 37 points. Martin Hansel, 8 goals, 26 assists, 34 points. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson plays a full season this year, 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 points as a 20-year-old. Now, Mike Smith has a .930 save percentage in 67 games played, which only got him 4th in Vezina voting. Now, he still probably wouldn't have won because Lundqvist had a .930 as well, with one more win and the same amount of losses, his record being 39, 18, and 5 to Mike Smith's 38, 18, and 10. But despite Mike Smith not winning the Vezina, the Arizona Coyotes are about to go on a run, boys. The only real run the Arizona Coyotes ever had. Now, they beat the Chicago Blackhawks in 6 games, which was a huge upset in the first round, as Chicago was firing on all cylinders. Keep in mind, they won the Cup in 2010, and they would bounce back from this season and win it in 2013, and then again in 2015. So Chicago is a wagon year in, year out. Now, they beat Nashville in 5 in the second round. Now, they lost to LA in 5 as well, who was on their own Cinderella run, being the first 8th seed team to ever win a cup. Now, LA lost to New Jersey that year, which New Jersey had Martin Brodeur. So, there's just so much good goaltending in these playoffs, as Jonathan Quick has like one of the best runs a goaltender has ever had to make it and win a Stanley Cup. Martin Brodeur had a one final run as well. And Mike Smith had a .944 save percentage in these playoffs, guys. Mike Smith. Now, the leading scorer in these playoffs is Anton Vermette, the third-line center. You guys know it's always that third-line center. 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points. Shane Doan, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. Keith Yandel, 1 goal, 8 assists, 9 points. Michael Bodker, 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points. And Rostislav Klesla, 2 goals, 6 assists, 8 points. Ray Whitney is nowhere to be found. He was like a point per game in the regular season. Where is he now? Dude, he might have died. Not literally, but I mean, he is 39 years of age, but he was a point per game. Whatever. And after that great run, the Arizona Coyotes are right back where they started, guys. Year 17, season 16, 2012-2013 lockout shortened season. 13,924 is their average attendance. 21, 18, and 9 for 51 points in 41 games played. No playoffs as they're 4th in the Pacific and only have 51 points. The leading scorer this year is Keith Yandel, 10 goals, 20 assists, 30 points. Radim Verbata, 12 goals, 16 assists, 28 points. Shane Doan, 13 goals, 14 assists, 27 points. Kale Bodker, 7 goals, 19 assists, 26 points. And Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 3 goals, 21 assists, 24 points. Year 18, season 17, it's 2013-2014 with 13,776 average fans on attendance. 37, 30, and 15 is their record. There are no playoffs, and they're 4th in the Pacific once again. Keith Yandel leads the team in points, 8 goals, 45 assists, 30 or 53 points. Radim Verbata, 20 goals, 31 assists, 51 points. Mikhail Bodker, 19 goals, 32 assists, 51 points. Shane Doan, 23 goals, 24 assists, 47 points. Mike Ribeiro, 16 goals, 31 assists, 47 points as well. Also, Shane Doan is 37 years of age. It's pretty good. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 15 goals, 29 assists, 44 points. Martin Hansel, 15 goals, 25 assists, 40 points. Whew, this is a different kind of year, boys. It's year 19, season 18 of the Arizona Coyotes. 2014-2015, average attendance of 13,345. However, that is not the point of this season. This is the Connor McDavid tank. They go 24, 50, and 8, and the team traded everybody. Everybody's gone now. The team's goal scoring abilities were so bad that OEL led them in goals and points, and he's the team's only 20 goal scorer. He has more goals than assists as a defenseman who plays an 82 game season. He has 23 goals and 20 assists for 43 points. Sam Gagner, 15 goals, 26 assists, 41 points. Keith Yandel, 63 games played. They traded him at the deadline. 4 goals, 37 assists, 41 points. Shane Doan, 14 goals, 22 assists, 36 points. Anton Vermette, they traded him at the deadline. 63 games played, 13 goals, 22 points, 35. Anybody who was playing good was traded this year, and because of that, your top scorer is a defenseman with 43 points. And Shane Doan's 38 years old. Even if you get Connor McDavid, this man is not winning a Stanley Cup. Year 20, season 19, the 2015-2016, of course, after losing the draft lottery and drafting Dylan Strome at 3rd, they go 35, 39, and 7 for 78 points and 4th in the Pacific. However, they are 20 points out of the playoffs. Now, Oliver Ekman-Larsson leads the team in scoring again. 21 goals, again, back-to-back 20-goal seasons as a defenseman. That's pretty impressive. 34 assists, 55 points. There's a reason Oliver Ekman-Larsson was like got that contract he did. He was gross. Max Domi is their second scorer. Only 20 years old this season. 18 goals, 34 assists, 52 points. Shane Doan at the age of 39, 28 goals, 19 assists, 47 points, almost 30 goals for Shane Doan, and he leads the team in goals at the age of 39. Good job, Shane Doan. Anthony Duclair, 20 years of age as well, 20 goals, 24 assists, 44 points. Great season from Anthony Duclair. Martin Hansel, 64 games played, 13 goals, 28 assists, 41 points. And I believe they traded Martin Hansel. Year 21, season 20 in the 2016-2017 season, 13,095 is their average fan attendance. Now, their record is 30, 42, and 10 for 70 points and 6th in the Pacific. So not a particularly great season. Radim Verbata is their leading scorer, 20 goals, 35 assists, 55 points. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 12 goals, 27 assists, 39 points. Alright, Max Domi, 59 games played, 9 goals, 29 assists, 38 points. Alex Goligoski, 6 goals, 30 assists, 36 points. As a defenseman, Tobias Rieder, 16 goals, 18 assists, 34 points. Christian Dvorak, 20 years of age, 15 goals, 18 assists, 33 points. Shane Doan, 40 years old, only 6 goals, 21 assists, 27 points. Things seem to be coming to an end for Shane Doan as he retires, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson is named the new captain as they go on into the next year's season, year 22, season 21. Again, Oliver Ekman-Larsson is the new captain. 2017-2018, 13,041 points, with a 29, 41, and 12 record for 70 points and 8th in the Pacific. Of course, Vegas joins the league, so now there's 8 teams in the Pacific. Clayton Keller, as a rookie, 23 goals, 42 assists, 65 points. Derek Stepan, 14 goals, 42 assists, 56 points. Max Domi, 9 goals, 36 assists, 45 points. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 14 goals, 28 assists, 42 points. Christian Dvorak, pretty good young two-way forward, 15 goals, 22 assists, 37 points. Max Domi is traded 1-for-1 for Alex Galchenyuk in the 2018-2019 season. Their average attendance is 13,989. Clayton Keller, 82 games played, 14 goals, 33 assists, 47 points. Only 20 years old. A bit of a sophomore slump, but I mean, can't complain too much. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 14 goals, 30 assists, 44 points. Alex Galchenyuk, 19 goals, 22 assists, 41 points. Vinny Hinostroza, 16 goals, 23 assists, 39 points. Derek Stepan, 15 goals, 20 assists, 35 points. Now, year 24, season 23. This is, of course, the 1920 COVID shutdown season. Their average attendance is pretty good, 14,606. Their record is 33, 29, and 8 for 74 points in only 70 games, making the NHL's expanded playoffs with a points percentage of .529. Now, they are actually, a pretty decent team, but there's no way they're going to win the Stanley Cup. You got Nick Schmaltz leading your team in scoring with 45 points. You got Clayton Keller with 44. Connor Garland, 22 goals, 39 points. Christian Dvorak, 38 points. Phil Kessel, 14 goals, 24 assists, 38 points. Phil Kessel. Carl Soderberg with 35 points. Alexander Goligoski, 32. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 9 goals, 21 assists, 30 points. Derek Stepan, 28 points in 70 games. Bit of a drop-off for him. And Taylor Hall in 35 games, 10 goals, 17 assists, 27 points. So pretty good production from Taylor Hall. Now, they end up having 3 good goaltenders this year. Darcy Kemper, 29 games played, 16 wins, 11 losses. Antti Raanta, 33 games played, 15 wins, 14 losses. Aiden Hill, 13 games played, 9 wins, 2 losses. And their save percentages are Darcy Kemper with a .928, Antti Raanta with a .921, and Aiden Hill with a .918. Aiden Hill is only 23 years of age at this point. And of course, he won the Stanley Cup just a year ago. They're year 25, season 24. Now they have a close fight with the Blues for that last playoff spot in the NHL West Division with a record of 24, 26, and 6 for 54 points in only 56 games played, because this is the COVID-shortened season. Phil Kessel, 20 goals, 23 assists, 43 points. Jacob Chychrun, 18 goals, 23 assists, 41 points. Connor Garland, 49 games played, 12 goals, 27 assists. Clayton Keller, 14 goals, 21 assists, 35 points. Nick Schmaltz, 10 goals, 22 assists, 32 points. Christian Dvorak, 17 goals, 14 assists, 31 points. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 3 goals, 21 assists for 24 points. Year 26, season 25, 21-22. They tear it down again. Their average attendance plummets 11,601. Of course, there was no attendance the year prior. They go 25, 50, and 7 for no playoffs, which is I'm pretty sure that's the exact opposite of their best season. 50, 25, and 7 was their record in 2010. Clayton Keller, 28 goals, 35 assists for 63 points in only 67 games played. Any of you Clayton Keller doubters were wrong. Okay, this man just popped off. Look at this guy go. And Nick Schmaltz is maybe one of the most underrated players in the league. 23 goals, 36 assists, 59 points in only 63 games played. Phil Kessel, only 8 goals, however, 44 assists is pretty good, and 52 points. Now, this is the first sign of Phil Kessel's drop off as a premier offensive player. His goal scoring completely goes away. However, he manages to keep his points up with quite a bit of assists. And Shane Gostisbehere, 14 goals, 37 assists for 51 points. And they're 8th in the Central now, as Seattle joins the Pacific and kicks them out of there. Year 27, season 26, they move to the Arizona State University Arena, where they sell out every game, 4,600, okay, and 28, 40, and 14 for 70 points, 7th in the Central. It's a decent season, but I mean, really, it's quite jarring that they're playing in a university arena. Clayton Keller, 37 goals, 49 points, 86 points. Nick Schmaltz in 63 games played, 22 goals, 36 assists, 58 points. So again, right close to that point per game mark. Matthias Michelli in his rookie season, 11 goals, 38 assists, 49 points. Lawson Krause, 24 goals, 21 assists, 45 points. And Barrett Hayton's finally starting to break out a little bit, 19 goals, 24 assists, 43 points. And now, this season, guys, year 28, season 27, of course, the 2023-24 season. They have 4,600 average attendance, so they sell out every single game. There's a little bit of optimism this year. They have a good start. After 20 games played, they are 9-2 for 20 points, and after 41 games played, 21-18-2 for 44 points, so they're above 500 at this point. Now, they fall off by the deadline, March 8th. 64 games played, 26 wins, 33 losses, 5 overtime or shootout losses for 57 points. So at this point, they fall below 500, and they finish the season with 36, 41, and 5 record for 77 points. So they just slipped out of the race somewhere in the middle of the season, midsection of the season. Now, there is a lot to this team, so let's take a look at it. Alright, so we're going to go over just their top 6, sorta. So Clayton Keller on the left wing here, 33 goals, 43 assists for 76 points, and he is their number 1 leading scorer. Nick Schmaltz on that right wing there, 22 goals, 39 assists, 61 points in 79 games played. Nick Bjugstad is the centerman on that line with 22 goals, 23 assists, 45 points. And your second line, you have Lawson Krause, had 23 goals, 19 assists for 42 points. Yeah, so unfortunately, Barrett Hayton is injured this season with only 33 games played, 3 goals, 7 assists for 10 points. Now, I assume ideally they want him as a second line center. However, for most of the season, it would have been Nick Bjugstad on the second line with Nick Schmaltz on the first line. And then you probably have Clayton Keller playing with Matthias Bocelli a little bit there. Dylan Guenther had 45 games played as well this year, his rookie season. 18 goals, 17 assists, 35 points. So quite the season from Dylan Guenther. And then their third line, as it states on Cap Friendly, is Matthias Bocelli, who, as I said, spent quite a bit of time in the top 6 this year. 17 goals, 40 assists, 57 points. Logan Cooley, again, similar story. You probably see him stepping up to be the second line center for a good chunk of the season as well. 20 goals, 24 assists, 44 points. And Josh Doan, 22 years old, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. Now, you probably have Alexander Kerfoot playing there most of the year, or Jason Zucker was on the team. I forgot about that. Jason Zucker. And then your fourth line, Michael Carcone, Jack McBain, and Alexander Kerfoot, who Alexander Kerfoot had a decent season, 13 goals, 32 assists, 45 points. He's their fifth leading scorer, and they have him on the fourth line here. So that it says something about Arizona's depth. They're actually building a pretty good team, and it sucks because now that team is going to Utah. Sorry, Coyotes fans. And now just a quick look at their defense. J.J. Moser and Sean Durzi there locking up that first pairing. Sean Durzi, 9 goals, 32 assists, 41 points. He is quite the defenseman. Their blue line is a little bit young and it's a little bit inexperienced as Sean Durzi is 25, J.J. Moser is 23, Juuso Valimaki is 25, Michael Kesselring, is 24, and Vladislav Kolyachonok is 22 years of age as well, and Victor Soderstrom is 23. However, they only played 5 games and 3 games themselves, but those are 2 up-and-coming defensemen that you'll probably see in the bottom pairing quite a bit this upcoming season for Utah. Unfortunately, of course, there's no playoffs, but this team does seem to be on the up-and-up and consistently getting better, especially the way they started this season. Very promising. Okay, so before we get right into the whole move to Utah, because it is quite a complicated situation, we are going to have to go over the ownership history, and I mean, really, that alone should tell the story. I got most of my information here from the hockeywriters.com, on top of a little bit of sources from TSN, ESPN articles, and a CBC article as well. About Wayne Gretzky buying the Arizona Coyotes, but I'll get to that. So, Richard Burke and Steve Gluckstern. Richard Burke founded United Health Group, the insurance company. Steve Gluckstern was the first chairman of the Democracy Alliance, and he also bought the New York Islanders in the late 90s as well. Duo wanted to move the team to Minneapolis-St. Paul in Minnesota. Of course, the Minnesota North Stars were just recently relocated to Dallas at this point in time. However, the relocation was shut down by the NHL. Gary Bettman calls the Phoenix Suns owner Jerry Colangelo, who also owned America West Arena, which was built in June 6, 1992. Colangelo agreed to rent out the building to Burke and Gluckstern. The unfortunate thing, this arena was a basketball arena, and they were sharing with the Phoenix Suns, and they also didn't own the arena, which is a small issue, but most of us can still remember the Islanders' arena troubles back when they were sharing with the Brooklyn Nets. So the Arizona Coyotes' first problem, they need a real building. Burke and Gluckstern disagreed heavily on the timeline of the building of the arena, despite the location being known as Scottsdale Los Arcos Mall, which was currently owned by Steve Ellman. They still disagreed enough for Burke to just buy Gluckstern out of the whole project in 1998. Now, Steve Ellman was really a pesky thorn in Burke's back, as he kept pressuring Burke into selling the team to him. However, eventually in 2001, on February 15th, with the help of the great one, Wayne Gretzky, he would buy the Phoenix Coyotes. However, he still couldn't reach an agreement on cost to build the arena in Scottsdale, so they would look elsewhere to Glendale, where an arena was built after the city borrows $183 million. 2006, Jerry Moes buys the team from Steve Ellman, while Gretzky keeps a minority share. Now, Jerry Moes is maybe one of the top 5 worst owners of all time, which really sucks because Steve Ellman was probably the best owner the Coyotes had, They were just consistent under that time, and you guys remember from 2001 to 2006, the Arizona Coyotes, although they didn't make the playoffs that time, they were a consistent team, and they were at least seemed to be building towards something. Cannot say that under Jerry Mose. He constantly tried to sell the team and was angry when the NHL would interfere with his attempts to sell. And in 2008, he told Gary Bettman he would just stop funding the team and intentionally put the team in bankruptcy. In 2009, he tried to sell to Jim Balsillie, who was going to move the team to Hamilton. Then the owners voted 29-1, meaning the only owner who wanted this was Jerry Mose. He then just proceeded to sell the team to the NHL itself for $140 million. In July of 2013, the NHL sold to Arizona Ice. So after 4 years, the Arizona Coyotes being under the control of the NHL, they sell it to Ice Arizona. Now, they were known to spend team funds on big fancy dinners, or after a tough loss on the road, get in the bus and just like try to have a party and get it going, turn up the radio. Somebody said that. There was a quote. I'm forgetting who said that, however it just wouldn't last long, as they simply weren't great business owners. They loved hockey, but they just weren't the best. So Andrew Barroway takes over in 2017. However, before that, on June 10th, 2015, the Glendale City Council terminates their 15-year lease, stating the integrity of the contract has been compromised. Now, this was only 2 years after signing the lease, which started a small feud between the city and the team to some level.
The city believes the Coyotes ownership group, Ice Arizona, breached the contract by using city money to pay down debt incurred when the team was bought. The lease agreement for Gila River Arena had been for a total of $225 million over a 15-year span.
Barroway's idea was to build an arena in Tempe with the help of the Arizona State University funding. However, after ASU pulled out of the deal and left with no other option than to sell to Alex Meruelo, who had one thing that these other owners did not: real deep pockets. And he was willing to invest into the team and buy his own land and build his own arena for the longevity of the team. Or that was the vision he pitched to the Arizona Coyotes fan base. So the team is sold in 2019. Now, his plan was to build an entertainment district and build it where the current landfill of Tempe is. However, he needed voters in Tempe to agree to change the landfill to this entertainment district. However, of course, by the 2022-23 season, the one leading up to the vote in May of 2023, they would play out of ASU's arena, and the slogan used to convince voters to vote yes was landfill to landmark. However, 1.5 million pounds of trash would have to be moved in order to build, and the estimated cost was $75 million to move all the trash, and on top of that, you have to build an entertainment district, which was a $2.1 billion endeavor. Now, as the day of the vote came and went, 56% of votes ended up being no, which led to Bettman's first words that might concern an Arizona Coyotes fan. Now, Greg Wyshynski reported this from ESPN on May 17, 2023. The Arizona's plan to build a new arena in Tempe as part of a $2.1 billion entertainment district was rejected by voters on Tuesday, and the team said its future will be evaluated by our owners. Gary Bettman said himself here, "We are going to review with the Coyotes what the options might be going forward." Now, Meruelo's next plan seemed to be just a piece of land in Mesa. Now, the auction still had to be held, so there is no guarantee that he was able to do this. However, the NHL had enough of Alex Meruelo and was slow to give them this solid plan, and even if he wins this auction, the arena still wasn't going to be ready until the 2028-2029 season at the earliest. So, Alex Meruelo is essentially forced to sell to owner Ryan Smith in Utah due to the NHL not wanting a team in a college arena for 5 years. Now, Utah team will be playing out of a basketball arena. However, Ryan Smith at least owns the arena, so as long as he actually wants to own this team, they shouldn't have any more arena problems, and they should just be able to live out as the Utah Snowstorm or whatever. I don't know. Now, of course, the Coyotes have the opportunity to return as an expansion franchise in the future should Alex Mariuello build an arena suitable for an NHL team. Just let me know in the comments how you all feel about this. The Arizona Coyotes have really been through quite a bit in their history, and I thought it was pretty fun to make this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. It's a pretty long one, so yeah.